Hey everyone, Jeff Adams here from the Icebox Radio Theater, coming on to let you know about a major change to our membership program. Now, if you've always wanted to join the IBRT but couldn't for financial reasons, we're thrilled to announce the addition of free memberships. That's right, for the first time, we're offering you a seat at the table where all the big decisions are made here at the IBRT, absolutely free. Of course, we're still offering paid memberships with additional benefits for your support, and we'll continue to offer a Patreon page as well. But we felt the time was right to open things up a little bit and invite anybody who wants to join to join. So just go to our website, that's iceboxradio.org, and click on the Join link to learn more. Thanks for your time and consideration, and as always, keep listening. Hey everyone, this is Jeff from the Icebox Radio Theater, welcoming you to a very special podcast presentation. What you're about to hear was a live over-the-air recording of the first play the IBRT ever did, The Cabin Next Door. It was recorded on July 14th, 2004, 20 years ago today, in International Falls, Minnesota, down in the basement of radio station KXBR. And I'd like to invite you to stick around after the show. I'm going to have a little Where Are They Now for the cast and crew, as well as a few more anecdotes about this most important production to us in the history of the Icebox Radio Theater. But now, without further ado, let's go back to 2004 and The Cabin Next Door from the Icebox Radio Theater.
Tonight, a tale of mystery and suspense.
I can't believe we're finally here.
Oh, believe it.
One family's search for the idyllic home on the lake takes a dangerous turn.
They're 20 feet.
You mean they're getting closer? That's impossible.
Sean, they're coming right at us.
As the Icebox Radio Theater presents The Cabin Next Door, our play will begin right after this.
Good evening. My name is Jeffrey Adams, and I'd like to welcome you to the first ever broadcast of the Icebox Radio Theater. We want to take this moment to thank KXBR station manager Bruce Christofferson, who provided airtime, broadcast facilities, and equipment, and his immeasurable talent and enthusiasm for this project. We hope that the IBRT can fulfill its promise and become a true theater of the air for our community. And now, on with the show.
Oh, we're here.
Is that it?
I can't believe we're finally here.
Oh, believe it. We've been working too hard not to believe it.
Summertime, a lake on the edge of America, a mile of blue water surrounded by cabins great and small. At the end of a strip of gravel road sits one particular cabin, a place where one family's dreams came true.
This is amazing. The swimming dock and everything.
We'll be there in a second, hon.
The screen porch, the fire pit on the beach, the boat bobbing on the gentle waves. Everything about the scene is perfect. All the Regal family has to do now is meet the neighbors. The Icebox Radio Theater presents The Cabin Next Door.
Do you remember what it was like the first time we saw it?
Not a window that wasn't broken.
The holes in the roof?
The chipmunks living in the kitchen cabinets. It's totally transformed. You know, seeing it like this makes me want to...
Move in?
Let's get hauling.
I'll go make sure Becky doesn't make any unscheduled swims.
The rest of us will get started. Hello, Earth to Twins.
Dad, don't call us that.
We got a lot of stuff to unload.
Fine.
I'll start with the ice chest. You two bring the food that's in boxes, okay? Okay.
Okay, we heard you.
All right.
I don't believe this.
Just shut up and get a box.
We are gonna miss the biggest party of the year just to have family time at the cabin.
Shut up, Bobby. You wouldn't have even gotten invited to that party if it hadn't have been for
What
me.
is that supposed to mean?
Lori Coastlight asked me if I had to invite you. I was invited first. She asked me if I had to invite my little sister.
She did not.
She did too. I practically had to give my permission to her, which I only did to keep Mom and Dad off my back.
She did not call me your little sister. Only you call me your little sister. The whole school thinks of us as twins.
You are my little sister.
By 15 minutes. Look, would you develop just a little bit of maturity for once and quit blaming me for missing the party? It's blindingly obvious. We should be blaming Mom and Dad.
Just forget it.
You're taking their side?
I just don't see the sense in causing more trouble.
You're taking their side.
Grab a box. And come on, I'm hungry.
You're always hungry. Oink.
Meow.
Twins!
We're coming.
There. I think the kitchen's ready.
Okay, what's next?
Bobby, don't be like that. Not on our first day at the cabin.
Can we just get on with this?
Okay, you're going to sit in that chair, and you're going to tell me what is wrong.
Nothing.
You're not sitting.
I don't need to sit to tell you nothing's wrong.
Mom,
Yes, Becky.
can I go down to the shore?
I'm not sure I'm ready for you to be down there by yourself, honey.
Okay, I'll just stay here and watch you and Bobby fight.
Fine. Don't get wet, and we'll have a talk later about appropriate comments.
Thanks, Mom. Good luck, Bobby.
Don't drown or anything. That would be so tragic.
You have been brooding ever since we left home. Now you're going to sit in that chair until you tell me what's wrong, so you might as well do it now. Did you not want to come to the cabin, honey?
Mom, it's not that.
Then what is it?
You wouldn't understand.
Yes, I know the complexities of a ninth grader's life are well beyond my grasp. At least they were when I was in the ninth grade.
I'm officially in 10th.
Well, this is our family vacation, and it's so important to your dad that we all have a good time. Would you please at least try to explain it to me?
Okay,
Thank you.
all right. See, there's this party.
Okay.
Mom,
Honey, what is it?
I went down to the
I saw her crying. Is everything okay?
Dad.
Honey, come here, come here.
Did you see what happened?
No, Sean and I were working on the dock when I saw her tearing back to the porch like there were wild dogs chasing after her.
What was she doing?
I was over next door. I wasn't doing anything.
Next door.
Yeah, the cabin just up the beach. I think it's abandoned.
It didn't look like people have been there for years.
Becky B, please, just tell us what happened.
I was looking around the cabin. I wasn't touching anything. They have like a basement or something with a regular window. And I looked down and there was a man staring back at me. It scared me so bad.
Oh, is that all? You scared me to death, Becky. It was probably just our neighbor.
No, Mom, you don't understand. He was looking at me like he didn't want me to see. And then he got real angry and opened his mouth to yell or something. That's when I ran back.
Serves her right for poking her nose in strange windows.
I didn't touch anything. I just looked.
Jim, would you please go over and apologize to the man? What a way to start with the neighbors. Jim?
Oh, I'm sorry. I was just lost in thought. I'll get Sean started cleaning out the boat and then go over.
Daddy, be careful.
Don't overdo it, Becky. Scared or not, you'll still have to apologize to the man yourself.
Okay.
You're going to wake up the whole South Shore if you keep trying like that.
What? Be quiet. How did you know I was out here?
You make only slightly less noise than a buffalo herd. What do you think you're doing, Sean?
What does it look like I'm doing?
It looks like you're trying to start the boat.
Oh, congratulations.
You're going to Lori's party, aren't you?
2 for 2, Bob.
Without me.
Hold your calls. We have a winner.
That is really low. Robert.
Only Mom gets to call me Robert. Roberta.
Okay, this isn't getting us anywhere. I'm assuming you won't leave me on the dock now that I found you?
What makes you assume that?
The fact that if you did leave me here, I'd walk right back into the house and tell Mom and Dad.
All right, fine. You can come. But only if we get this stupid boat to start.
If you keep doing that, someone's going to hear.
Well, you have a better suggestion?
Yes, genius. We get in the boat, we row out 50 yards or so, then start the motor. Even if Mom and Dad wake up, they'll probably think it's some wacko going for a late-night cruise.
Okay. That's smart.
Thank you. Sean,
Yes.
using the boat was smart, too. I was getting ready to take off walking when I heard you.
Come on. Careful stepping in.
I got it. Are there 2 paddles?
Yeah, here, you work the port side.
That's...
Left, port and left have the same number of letters. That's how you keep them straight.
Oh, yeah. Is that far enough?
I think. Now, if I can just figure out what's wrong with this engine,
What if it doesn't work?
I guess we row back and start walking.
There's always the car?
Bobby, we're 15. We're in enough trouble as it is. I don't know. Here, there's a flash under your seat.
Okay.
Shine it here. There's gotta be something I forgot to do.
I thought you knew how to do this.
I do! Good. A little higher. Yeah, that's good. Do you hear that?
There's a boat out there. They're running without lights.
Shut off the light.
Maybe they could help us.
After we explain why we're out here? No way. They just tell Mom and Dad.
They're coming close.
Quiet. The moon's behind some clouds, so they shouldn't be able to see us.
Do you believe that? They were right next to us.
Yeah, but it doesn't matter. This engine's dead, Bobby.
Should we row back?
I guess. This is a stupid idea anyway. It's just a dumb party.
It was a good idea.
Come on, let's get... Hold it. Can you see anything?
Did they stop right in front of our cabin?
No. I think it was the one next door.
You mean the deserted one? Where Becky said she saw that...
Yeah. Hey, the moon's coming out from some clouds.
Yeah.
Can you see anything?
I see... They're pulling up on the beach right in front of that cabin.
What are they doing?
I don't know. It looks like they have some boxes or something. Wait, they're looking at our house.
Do you think they're burglars or something?
No, they look... I don't know. I think they're talking about it. Of course, it's our first day here.
What do you mean?
Look, whatever these guys are doing, they're waiting till the dead of night to do it.
So, you think they're smugglers or something?
Okay, they could bring stuff over, dump it in the basement, then have their partner pick it up. That was probably the scary guy Becky saw.
No. You watch way too much TV.
Okay, look, they're going up to the cabin.
Our cabin?
Oh, no, the other one. Can't you see anything?
You know I've always been half blind in the dark.
And you were going to steer the boat to Laurie's party. You probably would have plowed right through the dock. Okay, they're inside now, I think.
We should get back.
No, if we paddle up to our own dock now, they'll see us.
This is really freaking me out. Let's just get out of here.
No, wait. Whatever's happening, we should stay here and see what it is.
Why?
Because it's happening right next door. What if that's a meth lab or something? Those things blow up, you know.
If Mom and Dad were here, they'd want us to be safe, right?
Then we're just lucky Mom and Dad aren't here. Shh, they're coming out again.
What is that stuff? Big bags of something.
Does meth come in bags?
How should I know?
Sorry, I didn't mean to.
What are they doing? Can you see?
They've stopped. I think they're looking out this way.
Get down.
I don't hear anything.
Which is good. Just be quiet.
They're in bed. They're getting back into their boat.
Come on.
What?
Get your paddle in the water. We're getting back to the dock, and we're going in the cabin, and we're gonna hope that Mom and Dad didn't hear...
Shouldn't we tell them?
And explain why we're in a boat in the middle of the night? No.
I'm shaking.
Me too. Let's just go.
Jim,
Yeah?
could you get the kids, honey? Breakfast is ready.
Sure. Becky, Bobby, Sean, ham and eggs. Oh, well, I don't know whether we'll see the twins this morning. They were up pretty late last night.
You heard that too?
Oh, sure.
I lay there for 20 minutes trying to figure out if I should go out and stop them. Thank goodness the boat motor didn't start.
Goodness had very little to do with it. I removed the spark plugs.
James Regal, you did that to your own children?
Did you want them going to that party? In a boat at night?
No, but I wanted to reason with them.
We did reason with them. Then I took the spark plugs.
Well, I'm not telling them.
Good.
Morning, Mom. Morning, Dad.
Good morning, Pumpkin.
Can we take the boat out today?
You bet. I thought we might explore some of those islands across the channel.
Cool. Well, look who's up.
Sean, Dad says we can take the boat out today.
Oh, okay. You think it'll work, Dad?
I'm reasonably confident it'll work, son, yes. What?
Your eggs, dearest?
Thank you, noble wife.
You guys are funny.
Good morning, Bobby. Did you sleep well?
Can I have a quadruple espresso, please?
How about some orange juice?
What's wrong with you two?
Nothing.
Yeah, it's as if you spent last night on the lake or something. Ow!
Sorry, dear. Was that your toe?
We didn't go on the lake.
Of course you didn't.
We were on the porch, all night.
Smooth, Sean. Very smooth.
Well, regardless, I'm just glad we got through our first night in the cabin uneventfully. Hopefully we can settle down and have a great summer.
Can we fish while we go around the boat?
Of course. Maybe I'll even tell you about the 20-foot northern that's supposed to haunt these waters.
What's a northern?
Northern pike. Some call it a freshwater barracuda.
Cool. What's a barracuda?
Maybe you shark hunters should finish your breakfast first.
Done. I'm gonna go out and play.
Before you do, We have to talk about the cabin next door.
Oh, do I have to go over and apologize?
No, but we need to talk very seriously for a moment. Becky, are you sure you saw a man in the basement of that place?
Yeah.
Really sure?
Jim, what is it?
Just a sec, hon. I mean, are you certain it wasn't a reflection in the glass or something?
Yes. Well, I think.
All right. I made a couple of calls yesterday, Becky. That cabin's been unused for 2 years, and if anyone's in that basement, I don't want you going near them.
Do you think it's dangerous?
Well, I'm not sure. The sheriff said she'd call the owner and come out to check the place this afternoon. In the meantime, no one's to go near it, understand?
Yes, Dad.
You two understand?
Of course. Why would I want to go over there anyway? Do you see Mom and Dad?
No, come on.
Hey!
Oh, no.
What do you guys think you're doing?
Nothing. Go back to skipping rocks.
You're going to the cabin next door. I'm telling.
No, wait. You want to come?
Yes.
Okay. Get around the house and be quiet.
You're making more noise than me.
Shut up, you guys! Okay. As long as you're here, show us which window you're looking into.
It's that one down there.
Can you see anything, Bobby?
It's a basement. Cardboard boxes everywhere.
Anything that looks...
No. I mean, half this stuff could be illegal for all I know. It's in boxes. You can't tell.
Can I help you, children? You're aware this is private property, I assume?
Yes, sir, we're sorry.
Just a minute. I didn't tell you you could leave.
Look, we were just curious about the cabin, so we were exploring. If we're trespassing, we're sorry.
Now listen to me. My family has owned this cabin for generations. I know it might look like a fun place to play with matches to you. But if I catch you anywhere near this place, I'll see you in juvenile hall, and I'll sue your father for everything he's got besides.
We can't help him yet. We live next door.
Becky!
Do I frighten you, little girl?
No.
Hey, what are you doing?
All I did was show you my fist, little girl. I didn't hit you.
Stay away from her. That's assault.
Ah, burgeoning lawyer, I see. I hate lawyers, and I don't much like you three. Now get out of here before I really lose my temper.
Don't run, Becky. Just hold my hand.
And don't come back, or I'll have you put on a collar and leash.
Don't look back. Just walk.
Do you hear me? A leash.
Let's go tell Dad.
Yeah, we have to tell
No, we'll just get in trouble for being over there when he told us not
That
to.
guy threatened Becky.
Right, so we're going to figure out why he's so scared about us being over there.
He looks scared.
Trust me, he was. Bullies always look that way when they're scared.
I'm cold.
I told you to bring another jacket.
Why is she even with
Because
us?
she woke up when we woke up, and unless you can think of a way to keep her quiet.
I can think of a few ways.
I just want to come with you guys.
Well, you got your wish, so be quiet.
Okay, this is good.
Now what?
Now we wait.
And hope that the boat comes back. Why are we doing this again?
I think we interrupted those guys last night. They heard me drop the flashlight, then they took off. They're going to come back tonight. I know it.
Okay, so what are we gonna do if they do come back?
Follow them, of course. Find out where they came from.
You really think that guy at the cabin today was a smuggler?
He didn't want us looking around, right? Something's going on over there, and I'm going to find out what it is. Just like I thought.
Okay, everyone keep quiet.
I am cold.
Shh! Are they there? Can you see?
Yes, just take it easy.
I can't see.
You have to be quiet.
Who are those guys? What are they doing?
We don't know, and we're trying to find out. Now keep quiet, Becky, or they're going to hear us.
I think they're coming out.
Yeah, they are.
Do they have the bags again?
No. It looks like a chest or a box or
A
something.
chest?
Well, that's what it looks like. They're really struggling to get it into the boat, too. One of them's a woman.
What difference does that make?
None whatsoever. I just never noticed it before. Okay, here they come. Can you see them?
I think so.
Okay, wait for them to get past us, then start the engine. It works, right?
Yeah.
It works. Dad took us all over the lake today.
Okay, they're almost here. Everyone get down. Are you ready, Sean?
Let's go.
Can you see them?
They're there, right there. Aren't they?
Can't you see?
I can't make out their boat. It's too dark against the shore.
They're just in front of us.
Right there, like 50 feet.
Where?
Right in front of us.
They're 20
You
feet.
mean they're getting closer? That's impossible.
No, it isn't. Sean, they're coming right at us.
What happened?
They turned right back towards us. I think they know we're following.
They saw us?
Yes.
We've got to go back.
Sean, be careful.
No, we've got to go back.
Not so fast.
You're turning too sharp. Careful.
Not so fast.
What happened?
She fell out of the boat.
What?
Sean, Becky fell out of the boat. Turn back.
I can't. There's something wrong with it.
Sean, go back.
The engine's stuck.
Stop. Stop.
Oh, great. You killed it.
Well, Becky fell out of the boat.
And I would have turned around and gotten her if you hadn't pounded on the engine.
Start it again.
I'm trying. It won't go.
We've got to get Becky.
She's wearing a life jacket. It's a warm night. She'll be okay for 2 or 3 minutes.
I can see her. She's just up there.
Let me figure out what popped loose on this thing and we can go back and get her.
Oh, no.
What? What's wrong? What do you see?
Oh, no.
What happened?
Sean, the other boat just picked up Becky and went away.
Oh.
I can't see them anymore. Sean, I can't see them anymore. What are we going to do?
Come on. You can see better than I can in the dark. You're gonna help me with this engine.
What are we going to do?
We're gonna get Mom and Dad.
There. I think that's everything we need.
Okay, Jim. Now, if you come with us, you're coming unarmed, agreed?
I'm not joining this search party to shoot anybody, Sheriff. I just want my daughter back.
We'll meet County Search and Rescue out by Little American Island. Ontario Provincial Police will start on their side. Now, you're sure that boat was headed north, young lady?
Yes, I'm sure of it.
All right, then. You kids head inside. We have an officer there that'll question you some more. We want every detail you can remember about that boat.
Yes, ma'am.
Dad, we're really...
I know. First things first. I want you to do what the sheriff says, okay?
Okay.
Remember everything you can about that boat. How it looked, how it sounded, everything.
Wait a minute. I think I can hear something.
Boats sound a lot alike, son.
No, but I really do. I think that's it.
It's getting closer.
Does that look like the boat you saw, Bobby?
Yes, it does.
Jim, hand me that light.
Here you go, Sheriff.
Hold it right there, please.
Can you see Becky?
No.
A little late for a cruise, ain't it?
Who are you?
This is Sheriff Bev Johnson. Who might you be?
Don't tell them your name.
It's the sheriff. We don't have a choice.
Maybe you folks better come tie up at the dock. We can talk face to face that way.
Becky!
Daddy?
Becky, are you all right?
Yeah, these people picked me up, but Daddy?
Hon, what is it?
I fell in the lake and got wet. Are you mad?
Well, why don't you folks come tie up at our dock? We'll talk about what happened.
There. It'll be ready in a minute.
Thank you, Laura. Now, you two, let's just start with your names.
This isn't what you think it is.
Yeah, you keep saying that.
I mean, we had to save her. She was in the water. The other boat had stalled.
Ma'am, your names.
We're Dugan and Ruth McDonald.
Address?
We live
Dugan.
on the Canadian side, just outside the fort on Route 30.
I see. Now, maybe you should start out by explaining what you were doing crossing international waters at night.
We were coming to our cabin.
Which cabin is that?
Quit playing us, Sheriff. You know very well which cabin. You know my name, and you know who owns the cabin next door.
Uh-huh.
Sheriff, I'm not exactly sure what's going on here, but it sure seems like everyone else does.
Just a minute, Laura.
No, not just a minute. My 3 kids were out chasing around tonight on the lake because they felt something was really wrong at the cabin next door. My baby took a late night swim and these people saved her. But you're treating them like they're criminals.
Technically, they are.
I'm not denying it. I just really want to know what's going on.
Well, I happen to know that Mr. McDonald here is the brother of Fred McDonald, owner of the cabin next door. As for the rest, Mr. McDonald.
Mrs. Regal, that cabin next door has been in my family for 3 generations. It's supposed to be the shared property of me and my brother Fred. I believe your kids met Fred yesterday?
You mean the man at the cabin?
Bully, jerk, evil old goat, they all fit, young lady.
Now, Ruthie.
Well, it's true. My husband inherited a share of that cabin just like Fred did, but he's been keeping it tied up in the courts for so long, we'll die before it's all settled.
My brother and I have never gotten along. My father's will, well, I thought it was pretty clear, but he's got the courts to say that we have to stay 50 feet away from the place. Can you believe that? A restraining order for a house?
At night, we saw you carrying things out of the place.
They're mine, all of them. The basement's full of things. Most of it's junk, you understand, but...
The sentimental value.
Right. I got things in that basement going back to my childhood. For that matter, my dad's childhood. The place leaks in the spring, too, and some of it's been ruined, but do you think Fred cares?
How can he keep you away from it?
He has it watched. That's who we thought you kids were when you came after us. A couple of Freds, hired thugs in a boat.
But you couldn't have thought that after you saw Becky in the water.
No, to be honest, I didn't know what to think when I saw her.
So the question is, why did you take off for home with a minor in your boat across the international boundary?
I don't have an answer to that, Sheriff. Panic, I guess. But we never laid a hand on that child, except when Ruthie gave her some warm clothes and a towel.
No, I didn't expect you did anything to her, and I get the idea her parents don't think so either. But you've got a lot to answer for, MacDonald. We've called your brother, and he'll be here in a few hours, right about sunup.
No, this is it then. Fred will try to tear me in half.
Oh, I'm getting too old for this.
Well, you did a fine job, Bev.
Just glad your kids got back safe. Is your little one all right?
While you were in the kitchen talking to the McDonalds, she was bending my ear with her dramatic story of midnight rescue. She talked herself right to sleep. We won't be hearing the end of this all summer.
Well, glad everything came out all right. Oh, because I'm sure not looking forward to this part.
Where is he?
Now, Fred, take it easy.
Where is my brother? I got him now. He'll never set foot on this shore again.
Mr. McDonald, I don't believe you know Jim Regal.
Hello. Where is he, Johnson? I want to see his face.
He's in the house talking to the Regal kids.
I should have known. I didn't like those children the minute I set eyes on them.
Perhaps I should remind you those are my kids you're talking about.
Perhaps I should remind you your offspring were trespassing on my property yesterday.
They're just kids. They were curious.
There it is. Permissive, milquetoast parenting. It's what's wrong with this country today.
Here they come. Now, he's got the kids with him, so watch your mouth.
I'll say whatever I please. Ingratiating yourself to the neighbors, I see.
Hello, Fred.
Sheriff says you've added kidnapping to your list of crimes.
They didn't kidnap me. They saved me.
Quiet, girl. This has nothing to do with you.
No, it has to do with you and me. I can't beat you in the courts, Fred. I admit it.
If you're planning on appealing to my mercy, I wouldn't advise it.
I just want to end this thing. When it was just you and me, I was willing to go on playing this game. But we have neighbors now.
I have neighbors.
And someone's going to get hurt if we continue on this way. The Regals aren't going to press charges. All you've got is a trespassing charge against me. If we forget the whole thing now, Ruth and I will never cross to this beach again.
A very generous offer. You skate away free, and I get nothing.
You're getting the cabin. That should be enough.
Oh, it isn't. I do have something more than a trespassing charge, Dugan. Thus far, all I've threatened you with is criminal courts. Well, there's always civil law to consider.
You want to sue me? I don't have any money.
Then you'd better avoid getting sued, hadn't you?
You're a terrible man.
Becky.
Well, he is, Dad.
Hush now. Mr. Fred, I think you'd better get off my property. Any business you have with the sheriff, you can do elsewhere.
Whom do you presume to be ordering me like that?
What I presume is immaterial. What I observe, however, is very disturbing. You're taking liberties with the law, sir, and using them to beat your brother down.
Liberties? Ah, listen to him. Who do you think you are?
I'm your neighbor, if you even understand what that word means. And it so happens I'm an attorney. Need a lawyer, Dugan?
Can't afford one, Mr. Regal.
Well, it so happens I need a caretaker.
I'd work for you and you'd...
Look after your case, yes. I know you already have a job, so if you don't have time...
Oh, it's all right. I already do a little caretaking on the side anyway. But could you afford to? I mean, this case has been dragging on for years.
Yeah, I can't afford not to. My cabin's right next door to Mr. Fred's, and the way he maintains it, it's a fire trap. I'll need someone looking after my place, staying here part of the time.
Wait, you're talking about having him stay here right next door?
Only when we're not.
But that's all but 2 months of the year.
Well, as I say, I need a caretaker.
You'll hear from my attorney.
Good. I want to talk to him. I want to take a look at this so-called restraining order, and I want to take up the subject of your father's will.
The will?
Yes. You should have no problem with me looking at the will, unless there's something wrong with it.
Fred, I don't think I've ever seen you speechless before.
Yes, well...
Wow, Dad, that was amazing.
I surely thank you, Mr. Regal, though I don't know you understand what you're in for.
It's quite all right. Everything I said is true. Your cabin could easily go up the condition it's in, and I don't want to take in the whole shore with it.
He'll fight you, you know.
He'll try. My dad's good.
I don't know what to say, Mr. Regal.
You saved my daughter. This seems the least I can do. And besides, if I do my job, you won't be in our cabin very long anyway. You'll be next door in your own.
And this is so cool.
So it's really lucky that we went on the lake, huh, Dad?
Yes, Sean, I guess it was. Now all three of you go into your rooms and stay there until you're not in trouble anymore.
Dad, the lake. I thought we were going fishing today.
Dad!
Dad?
All right. Stupid cabin. We should sneak away tonight.
Bobby, shut up.
Yeah.
This has been The Cabin Next Door, the inaugural production of the Icebox Radio Theater. Our all-star cast, roughly in order of appearance: Rachel Adams as Becky, Kelly Remus as Laura, Ben Utter as Jim, Anna Remus as Bobby, Brock Cronky as Sean, Neil Smith as Mr. Fred, Becky Aitken as the Sheriff, Jim Rancourt as Dugan, and Debbie Griffith as Ruth. Our engineer was Stephen Adams, and on sound effects, Jeffrey Adams and Jim Rancourt. Music by Hollis Higgins. The script was written by Jeffrey Adams. Production facilities provided by station KXBR International Falls. This program is copyright 2004 by the Icebox Radio Theater, which is solely responsible for its content. For more information on the Icebox Radio Theater, visit their website at www.icebox.storiesonmp3.com. This is Neil Smith speaking.
Yes. There it was, The Cabin Next Door, everybody. And as promised, this is Jeff Adams, returning at the end of the episode to apologize for the sound quality. I had not remembered it being that poor. But just to give you a little more background on this, the first play from the Icebox Radio Theater, in case you hadn't heard it before. And I suppose I can't do that without really talking a bit about the history of the theater and how we got where we are. The beginning, of course, was my family and I moving to International Falls from Oregon in very, very late 2003. That's a story all to itself. But I had been doing some audio drama in Oregon previous to the move. In fact, if you want to hear some of that earlier work, it's on the Frozen Frights podcast under the subheading Imagination X, which was a web series I was doing in, the late 90s, I believe we started that. So when I moved to town, through some folks who found out I did radio drama, they said you ought to look up Bruce Christopherson, who was station manager at station KBHW, which was a Christian kind of a Bible outfit there just outside of town, which had two radio stations originating out of that building. KBHW, which was kind of a large regional station, had repeaters all over north central Minnesota. And then KXBR, which at that point was a rock and roll station called The Edge, Christian rock and roll, yes, and that just reached the International Falls, Fort Francis areas all, had a kind of a standard range. And in addition to playing the rock and roll, The Edge was sometimes used for community events. And Bruce was fantastic right from the get-go. He didn't even hesitate. When I said I do radio drama, he said, well, you should do a play here. And that led to about a month of prep that involved a couple of public meetings that were very well attended. and some auditions and a workshop. I distinctly remember that in the basement of the station where we got everyone together and we showed them this is a microphone and how to use it. And from that, I wrote and cast this play, which I thought would be the type of thing that people in the area would really enjoy, this sort of Nancy Drew Hardy Boys family mystery. I have fond memories when I was a kid. ABC television did a movie of the week for a time that was the Nancy Drew Hardy Boys mysteries on Sunday nights with, what was her name? It was kind of a big-time youth movie star. Before there was the Disney television network, there was this show, which had actual teenagers in the role of Nancy Drew and the Hardy Boys. And I always liked that show. So I said, well, let's do something like that. The cast, well, as you might imagine, with 20 years going by, things have changed a little bit. Probably start with the bad news. As you might imagine, Neil Smith, who was a retired math teacher at the time, is no longer with us. Neil passed away several years ago. Of course, he spent a lot of time on the IBRT board. He was one of our original board members and appeared in many, 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 many plays. So he leaves behind that legacy. The rest of the cast, let's see. Well, little Rachel Adams is now Rachel Molassig, and she is in Hollywood making movies. And I won't tell her age because that's impolite, but she's a lot older than, Rachel was the one who played the little daughter, whose name escapes me right now. The kids, Bobby and Sean Regal, that was Anna Remus and Brock Kroenke. Anna is also in Hollywood making movies, and actually she and Rachel are having meetings, as they say, wondering if there is a project that maybe they could work on together. I did my best to try and dig up Brock, and I can't find any information on him. I think he's one of those millennials that's just sworn off the internet and sworn off social media. So Brock, if you hear this, by all means, do let me know. The parents in the family, Kelly Remus is still in town. She did a couple plays with us. Hasn't been involved in theater in a while, but I assume she's well. I see her every now and again. Ben Utter was a hip single DJ on KXBR when we did this play, and he's now a respectable college professor with a wife and 2 kids in Little Rock, Arkansas. I can't remember the name of the school. Sorry, Ben. I thought maybe I could give you a plug, but that's that. The other characters, I mentioned Neil. Paul Rancourt still lives in Minnesota, I believe. He moved from the Falls a number of years ago. Paul had a lot to do with just the rise of the Icebox Radio Theater. In fact, he built many of our original props, including the wind machine, which you don't hear in this particular play, but that is a classic wind machine design that actually dates back to the Shakespearean age. And it's just a barrel with a series of slats for the outside and then a canvas cloth draped over it. And then you turn a hand crank and you get kind of that Superman wind sound. We still have it and we still use it. So thank you so much, Paul. Debbie Griffith. Debbie Griffith is still around. And actually, this was kind of the beginning of Debbie's move into radio. She does a feature called Everyday Matters, which you can find online, but also through station KBHW, I think still is recording that. And that's gotten her into speaking, and I believe she has a couple of books out. So Debbie Griffith, just look her up, and she does a wonderful job there. And Becky Aiken was a pastor's wife in town. Her husband, Tom, was the Lutheran pastor, one of the Lutheran pastors. We're a small town, but we have 2 Lutheran churches. Just that's the way the Midwest is. And they have moved away, but I still see Becky every now and again when she comes back. Interesting side note, Becky arrived in character or in costume for her performance. She played, of course, Sheriff Bev. And there's a picture somewhere, if you dig around on the Facebook page, you might be able to find it, of Bev in full sheriff's regalia on the broadcast day. Crew, it was myself and Paul doing sound effects, and Stephen Adams, my son, was our engineer. Stephen, of course, is now a computer scientist living in the Netherlands with a wife and my only grandchild, where he works there for I lose track which firm, but anyway, it was a good idea of making him the engineer because he is an engineer now, a software engineer, working in that industry. And that's the cabin next door. It was kind of amazing the way the whole thing came together. I kept waiting, me, a suspicious West Coast type, kept waiting for these Midwesterners to ask for something, but they never really did. Bruce Christopherson, the station manager, just thought it'd be cool to have radio drama on his station. The only thing he insisted upon was that we perform it live. In fact, he really had to be convinced to allow us to make this recording, because there was, in fact, another broadcast the next day. We performed it on July the 14th. I believe the 14th was a Saturday that year. And then the next day, KXBR did a rebroadcast of the recording going out on the 15th. We ended up doing, I think, about half a dozen plays there at the radio station. About a month later, we did a science fiction story called Lifeboat with Ben Utter and a station employee there, Gene G., who was also very important in the history of the theater. That fall, we did Snowbank, which was an award-winning mystery that brought back Bobby and Sean Regal, bringing back Brock and Anna, reprising the roles in a 4-part every week. 4 weeks in a row, we did this live show on the air. That was fantastic. And then the next winter, we did a production of the Canterville Ghost there in the basement of KXBR. And I want to say that was about it. We did do a show called Peanut Butter and Tofu on Jewish Rye, which had a little stronger religious content, and it actually went out over the larger station, the KBHW station. And I think that came up the following winter as well. But alas, things moved on. We ended up sort of homeless for a while, and then landed at Rainy River Community College, and then Bacchus Auditorium, Bacchus Community Center for a number of years. And now we're here at Studio 908 doing this for you. So that is a look at The Cabin Next Door, the first play ever by the Icebox Radio Theater. Thanks for listening. If you have any questions or comments, or if you're Brock Cronkey and you want to tell me where you are, iceboxradio51@gmail.com is the email address. So once again, this is Jeff saying thanks for the download and reminding you to keep listening.